What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Entertainment and Podcast Network. Today we are talking with, or I'm sorry, I keep on saying we no longer have the Fire Fighter right now. I'm talking with Legions Gaming is here, and I'm hyped for this. I am the warrior of hype, and Legions is I love the energy from Legions. I love the hype from Legions. So this is good. We complement each other on this one. So I'm glad to have you back on, Legions.
It's good to be here, man.
Man, it's awesome to have you here. So if you're tuning in now and you don't know who Legions Gaming is, please go check out his YouTube. I think that's just youtube.com/Legions Gaming, right?
Yep. Everything's the same on every platform.
Perfect. So with that, you just heard his voice. What's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going? I'm tired because some of you guys may know Tokyo Game Show was at 4 a.m. Eastern time, and I stayed up.
Oh god!
I'll tell you guys right now, it wasn't really worth it.
It wasn't.
We're gonna talk about
because they basically showed us the same trailers that we've seen, correct? Like so Ever Crisis had the same exact trailer, right?
Yeah. There was some new ones, but it was it was on things that we've seen so much of already that I'm just like, do we really need a new trailer? Like Forspoken, how many trailers have we got for Forspoken or gameplay? Probably like 4 or 5, right? They showed another new one.
Yeah.
I was like, this game looks good and all, but like I've seen enough. Just release the game.
Right. Yeah. Like
release the game.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, the game should have been out by now, but it keeps getting pushed back and back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of Forspoken. We saw a little bit of basically all the trailers that we've seen before. Final Fantasy XVI, Ever Crisis, Rebirth. They just
all the same.
Just re-rolled them.
Ended it with Rebirth trailer.
That was interesting.
It was the last trailer. I'm like, watch, it's gonna be Rebirth, and it's gonna be the same thing. And they showed it, and I was like, I started contemplating my life's decisions at that point. I was like, why did I do this?
That was pretty wild, man. Like, that was a wild choice to do. But I think the most surprising thing, and we're going to talk about Crisis Core Reunion, obviously that was the one we all knew was going to be there. We all, the gameplay, demos, hands-on demo. So we all knew that was going to be there. But the surprise for me was Ever Crisis not there. No information on Ever Crisis.
Yep.
Nothing at all. Now, we were talking in the pre-show, Legions. I have concerns, and I think we're on the same page here when we were talking in pre-show. So do you want to talk about that, Legions?
Yeah. I am probably, out of like everyone we know in the Final Fantasy community, I probably cover the mobile games for Square Enix the most.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I've been like trying to defend a lot of stuff that they do, but as you guys may know, Square Enix has been putting their hands in, trying to get into blockchain or cryptocurrency, NFTs, stuff like that. And as you guys may have seen last week, it was all over Twitter that Square Enix did partner up with a blockchain, so now they do have their own cryptocurrency. And we were talking about, and me and Danny were talking about before the show started, is the president of Cyber Agent, which is the company that owns Applebot, the company that is making Ever Crisis, that also does Near Reincarnation, said the game was going to come out before the end of their fiscal year, which is September for them, and we're already in the middle of September. They said by the end of September. We got another trailer, was the same trailer, and it still said beta coming 2022. So it's like, it almost makes me feel like they're just delaying it as much as possible because they're getting stuff set up to maybe add crypto or NFT stuff in the game. And that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, also coming along with this week of TGS was the new figures. So we got these original Final Fantasy VII figures, Aerith and Tifa, which look incredible, man. I really wish, I really wish it was at different circumstances, but
yep, same.
Yeah, they look incredible. They were showing them off, but of course these two figures are the same as the Cloud figure from the OG Final Fantasy VII style, to be included with a certificate, a digital certificate, which is an NFT, and then of course you can buy the deluxe or the digital deluxe or something like that.
Yep,
digital deluxe, which has a I guess an AR technology thing where you can actually just put the figure in your room digitally
So weird.
So
weird.
this is the NFT world we live in now. But
dude, did you ever think as a kid opening your PlayStation magazine, looking at Final Fantasy VII, that you would think that we would get digital figures to go in your digital room? Like, oh my God.
I mean, it's just an interesting like push here for obviously they're using the Final Fantasy VII brand. And you know, I got nothing but love for Square Enix, right? But this whole strategy here is curious to me. Now, of course, this doesn't appeal to me, so I'm not going to buy it. That's as simple as that.
Yeah,
right?
same. Yep.
Simple as that. I'm not going to buy it, especially if the figure is $140, or $130 for the figure. If you don't want the digital deluxe, $130 plus $20.99 for shipping. So it just has me wondering if that upcharge is because of the NFTs.
NFT, yeah.
And
wasn't there was something else with the NFT too? Wasn't there that like, was it like a placeholder? If you did an NFT, you would get like some kind of placeholder, or no, it was a receipt or something, right? Like a verification thing, right?
Yeah, it's like
proof.
Yep. Yeah, it's a certificate per NFT, like basically. Yeah. And I, you know, I'm not really super educated on it all, NFTs and stuff, but that's essentially what you're getting is this official certificate saying you bought this figure. It's interesting, but to kind of tie this in with our point on Ever Crisis, the reason we are assuming, or you know what I mean, like we're speculating, the reason why Ever Crisis wasn't at TGS is if Legion's what he was saying is correct. If they are implementing blockchain technology, NFTs and stuff, crypto, that's the story coming out of TGS. You're no longer having the Crisis Core looks great, gameplay of Forspoken and all that. Now the attention is no longer positive. It's controversial. So coming out of TGS, I feel like, this is just me speculating here, of course, I feel like Ever Crisis has NFT. Like I feel like it has that blockchain stuff going on, and they're maybe, now that they've done that acquisition or whatever that was, where they have their own crypto group now. Now maybe they have established it, so that way they can take the time to implement it into Ever Crisis, and then they can show it off and release it when it's already established.
Yeah, it's like I've tried like defending that, even on Blitz's channel. Once he asked me for one of his videos, and you know, I told him, like, you know, with how close, because months ago it seemed like this was coming out soon, right? Because it's already been over a year and a half now, right? Almost, since they announced it. It was like, when did they announce or Ever Crisis initial was like March?
I believe it was actually
April, June, something like that.
Man, Ever Crisis was last year, I believe.
Yeah, it was
almost to look it up.
Yeah, so by the time Blitz asked me this a couple months ago, it had already been over a year since they announced it. And we had that news with them saying, oh, September, it's going to come out before September. So I was like, you know, with the amount of time they have left and what they've showed us and told us about the gacha in the game, I don't think that it's possible that they could implement NFT technology in the game, because that's something that you would kind of have to think about implementing while developing the game, right? Because it's kind of hard to set up that whole marketplace. Because another game that I played that has something similar to that is the Ni no Kuni MMO game that came out, and they put blockchain in it. And it was awful, by the way. It was awful. It was horrendous. And the game died within weeks. So and so I was telling them, like, I don't think that it would be possible for them to be able to do that with the amount of time they have left for the game's release. But now, with them not even saying anything about the game's release, no release date, now they just say beta 2022. And I think the last time they showed it, it said like late 2022, right? They said beta late 2022. I don't remember if they said an actual date or not.
Right. I don't know if it said late. I honestly couldn't tell you.
I have to go back and look.
I believe that's possible.
I forget what it was. It was either a state of play or something. And yeah, but now I don't think that. I think that it feels like they're delaying for something.
Yeah.
You know,
Like we were. Yep. Exactly.
It sucks because that was the one thing at Tokyo Game Show that was like, Japan loves their mobile games. They make the most profit off their mobile games. I don't think that we are going to see a Rebirth trailer or a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, but I did feel like there's no way we don't see Ever Crisis at least announce the date or sign up for the beta, and nothing. I mean, we still have what, another there's another live stream tomorrow, right, for this Square Enix, but I don't think they're going to talk about it. I feel like they would have already shown that.
Yeah, and that's to like kind of touch on that a little bit. This is a recap essentially, but you know, like Legion says, they are doing something tomorrow, another live stream tomorrow, and it actually involves Yoshi P, where he's going to be going around playing Final Fantasy 14 with fans.
Yeah.
I mean, since it's a Yoshi P, you know, appearance, I'm not ruling out the possibility that there could be some kind of 16. He might talk about the key art that we saw, but it's possible that he could mention Final Fantasy 16. We know how it is when Yoshi P gets on screen and he gets in those interviews and he gets excited and he wants to talk about it. Man, he might let something out. You know,
and he's like, I'm gonna get in trouble.
I'm gonna get in trouble, but I gotta talk about it.
We need Yoko Taro there. Yoko Taro always gets him to open his mouth.
That's what we need. Maybe he will. So yeah, so it's possible that I'm not ruling that out at all. But this is being filmed on Friday night, so they still have another stream tomorrow and actually Sunday. It depends on what time zone you're in, but yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's our thoughts on Ever Crisis and why it wasn't at TGS 22. What do you guys think? If you you know, let me know if you think it's going to be blockchain, if that's what they're holding out for. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for the outfits that they're you know, showing off, right? Like, I mean, I don't know how all of that really works, Legions. You said you played a little bit with Nino. How do you think it would be implemented? And
the way they could do that actually would be perfect for an NFT marketplace, the whole outfit system. They can make it so the way that would work, right, is they would have those banners for summon on them with currency, like cryptocurrency or real money, would be like a limited thing. Like, hey, you only have a week or two to summon for this, and after that, it's gone, and you'll never see it again. And then you'll own that as an NFT, right? If they do implement it as NFT. And as time goes on, right, it's like anything else on eBay. Like if you were to buy FF7 today with, you know, being checked if it's in good condition and stuff, sell for a lot of money. So as the game life cycle goes on, you get these collectors that are on there, because there are those people that, even though it's digital, they still want to collect it.
Yeah.
And then they'll see that, you know, oh, that samurai outfit from a year ago is someone selling it on the game for $500, something like that, whatever the cryptocurrency is, and then they could trade it that way through some kind of world market. But that's why I was telling Blitz, like, I don't know if it would be possible for them to do that, because they haven't talked about anything like that. They haven't shown that. And that would be something that would have to be implemented throughout development of the game, because that's a pretty big, like,
deal,
it'd
have
like
to be
marketplace.
The focal point of the development would have to be around that whole thing, right? They can't be just something that they're like, oh, okay, let's start.
We're just gonna throw it in.
We're not gonna bring it in a couple months after release. We're gonna it's got to be from the beginning or something, I guess. So I mean, that's interesting. That could be the reason why we haven't seen it yet. It could be you know, it's all lining up, like we said earlier, with the whole blockchain purchase, Square Enix having their own thing. So there you go. That's Ever Crisis. Now let's move on to let's talk about Crisis Core. Let's talk about Crisis Core, man. So
I have a lot to talk about that.
Awesome, I love it. I know you're one of your favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Zack, and
sword right there.
Yeah.
I got a sword right behind me.
That's awesome, man. So I know you're loving this, so that's awesome. What were your thoughts on the gameplay that you saw at Tokyo Game Show, and stuff like that?
The gameplay, phenomenal. Like, people call it a remaster, and even Square Enix, I don't see it as I see it as a remake, because what they did to the UI is incredible. Like, they completely changed the UI. They added shortcuts from remake. I mean, they used a lot of assets from remake. You can tell the UI is completely the same as remake, the shortcut menu, but like, it really brought life to the combat. The dodging, there's sprinting now. The combat feels very fluid with the animations. You even have some of the animations that Zach's doing looks like exactly like the animations from Cloud's attacks in Remake. And being able to do those without having to have that Kingdom Hearts-esque like menu of trying to scroll through that to attack and to use magic and items. Instead, you got shortcuts and keybinds for pretty much everything on controller. I thought it was very fluid and smooth. The boss fights look crazy.
I was
There's like
trying
the
to bring up
stagger
some
bar now.
footage there, but yeah. So it's got the stagger bar. So it's got the ability power bar.
Yeah.
Like, so when the enemies are about to unleash their most devastating attack, it starts to, it says 100% ability power for the enemy, and it starts to slowly drain. That's a new feature that wasn't in the PSP.
I like that. I hope they kind of implement that in Remake somehow, because that's a cool mechanic.
I like it too.
It's like it's, even if you don't stop the attack, you can weaken it so it doesn't deal as much damage, right? So that was a cool mechanic. I'm glad they added that too, and I'm glad they kept the DMW system. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm not going to spoil anything for people that haven't played. But you've played Crisis Core, right? You know the ending,
right?
I feel like you need that for the ending of the game if you can do the same ending. That DMW system at the end there was just so good with the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, so the good news is that it doesn't like pop up inside, like right in the middle of the screen, right? Like it doesn't, the DMW doesn't, once they start to line up, it doesn't take up the whole screen, which is nice. It stays in the top left-hand corner. And once you do have that match, you can actually activate it later. So you can actually store that, right? Yeah.
You can store them now. I saw that. I was like, because I was watching, I'm like, wait, why isn't he using Sephiroth's thing? It's going to run out. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh wait, he can save it for later. That's cool, because you weren't able to do that in original.
I believe it's triangle or something to activate. Triangle, like to activate Octaslash or something. So once you get the line up there, of course, that whole system is still in place. Now, you said that it felt like a remake, and I agree with you 50-50. So where the gameplay definitely felt like a remake. Right?
I know where this is going.
Oh boy. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So the gameplay itself is absolutely rebuilt. So you have more of like what Legions was saying. It feels more like Final Fantasy VII Remake mixed with the Crisis Core DNA. And it looks like it plays incredibly. And I really hope that they release a demo for that, a publicly available demo. That would be cool. But
did you see too that sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
You see too that there's loadouts.
Yeah, materia loadouts, which is fantastic, man.
Please put this in Remake somehow. I don't care. Just do it. I will try to do more speedruns of Remake if they do it, because I tried doing speedruns a couple times for Remake, and it was just the menuing for materia. I was like, oh, this is awful. I can't do this. This is too hard. I like had a spreadsheet on my other mod to remember the material.
All right, need to bring out the Hell House spread. Let me bring out that loadout.
Sucks on a speed run. Oh my god.
Can you that would have been really nice to have on hand for like when you go into, you're fighting somebody that's a fire type and you know it's coming up. So let me bring out my ice materia loadout. Let me bring out this fire defense, ice attack and stuff. And that I really do think, I agree with you, man. That would be awesome to implement that into Rebirth. So they have implemented it into Crisis Core. So they thought of it, which is awesome. It's got the Final Fantasy VII Remake menus, like you're seeing with our final podcast layout here. It's got that style to it. But so remade in those areas, but it shows its age when it comes to animation. Like as far as the cutscene animation, you still have Zach going, like the little the turnaround, and it's really stiff and
it is.
So yeah, you kind of still have those PSP animations. They did not rebuild those. Like you can it's very evident now that we've seen the raw gameplay of it. Those animations are still intact. And this is outside of combat. Of course, the combat looks fluid as hell. Like it looks beautiful. But when it comes to cutscenes, they look the same. Dialogue has remained the same. So if you were into the corny, like cheesy dialogue from the original Crisis Core, that's there. They've only gone back and added the new actors, the new voice actors. So I mean, which is good. You got Cody Christian coming back to play Cloud, but a younger Cloud. You know, Tyler Hoechlin as you know, Sephiroth. So
Sephiroth.
yeah, and I think that's all good. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know who's voicing Genesis. I think that's a new voice actor.
It's a new voice actor, but the JP one is still Gak.
Still this, okay. Yeah, so that's what you can expect there. So if you like that cheesy dialogue, that cheesy story, the corny story, it's all there. They have not touched that as far as we have seen, and we're gonna get into that as well.
There was like maybe like 1 or 2 lines from like one of the trailers that, like, if you went back and looked at it, it's like a tiny bit different. Like, instead of saying it one way, they said it another way, but they, you know, they pretty much said the same thing, just in a different way.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe just to make the translations a little bit better, I guess, because back then maybe the translations weren't as good. It was only like one line here or there, like something that Angeal said, like the whole line with you're a little bit more important to my sword, but just a little bit. I think there was something, 1 or 2 words that were different there or something like that. But
by the way, that's the standout to me, man. That's the standout. I liked Angeal's from the trailer. I thought that was he did it. He's doing a really good job there.
I agree.
But yeah, so I mean, do you have any thoughts on any other thoughts on Crisis Core?
I have one that's a little controversial. I don't know if you want me to talk about it.
It's up to you, man.
It's not the voice actors, but I feel like the direction that whoever was directing them made them go. I didn't like. I don't want to say anything because I don't like talking down on.
Right? Yeah. I'm so with you.
I don't think it's a voice actor problem. I don't think it's a voice actor problem at all. Because here's what I want to say. A lot of people are shitting on Zach's voice actor, and I think he does a good job on the lines that are new. Like the lines that are completely, like the end of Intergrade, I thought he did a phenomenal job in that scene, the church scene where he went to go see Aerith. Everything that he does that's a new scene that hasn't been voiced already is really good. But I think it's when they tell him, like, hey, try to sound as much as the old actor as possible, is when it's like, you can tell, like, I feel like he would do so much better if he tried to make it his own instead of trying to sound more like OG Zach in a way.
Okay.
Because I think that's the only issue I have. Oh my God, Night Sky Prince, what's up, my dude?
How come I'm not getting everybody, which is interesting. I'm not seeing everybody in the chat. So, like, see, it's not.
He just rated it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it just rated. Okay, well, thanks, man. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, Night Sky Prince. We're talking TGS. So if you have any thoughts on that, man, chime in in the comments. We're talking about Crisis Core. We've already talked about Ever Crisis. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, like, I think overall, from what I've seen of the game of Crisis Core, through the gameplay that I've seen on YouTube and doing all my research here, I've also got Genki or Genkai.
Oh, yeah, Genki,
yeah, awesome stuff, man. If you can go follow Genki at GENKI_JPN.
Great Twitter account.
Yeah, for real. There we go, right there. I'll bring it up. Of course, that's blending in with the chat box. Let me put that above it. But yeah, so like I'm bringing that up now, because I want to bring this in. He's actually went to TGS and he's been giving these like hands-on impressions. So basically saying that he played it on the Switch and then he went back in line and played it on the PS5. And of course it looks better on the PS5, but we talked about the UI being straight out of FF7R. Hey, you can pause and skip cutscenes. so there you go. That's something nice.
Why would you want to skip the cutscene?
right. If you're doing your speed run.
That's true.
Yeah. So there you go. I think he even had a picture of, yes. See, look at that. That's the menu is clean, man. I love that they've taken this Final Fantasy VII remake menu. And there's some pictures he posted of also, here he goes, the controller right there. And of course this is all in Japanese, but basically, like Legion said earlier in the show, you got all your button layout here. And it's really good because you can pull the L1 and then any of the face buttons to use your magic, which is so much more intuitive than having to cycle through a horizontal bar of the PSP version. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was awful. I'm so glad we don't have to have that Kingdom Hearts menu in this game anymore. That was rough.
Right. So there you go, man. We can move on from Crisis Core if you want to, because I want to also talk about the key art. Actually, let's not move on from Crisis Core. Let's talk about this key art.
Yeah, that was all I had to say about the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah.
The direction, but I feel like, I don't know. I think it was the trailer was with the music playing. It just didn't fit right, I guess, because Price of Freedom was playing. So maybe when we play it ourselves, it'll sound different.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. So that those emotional scenes didn't really, or the anger fueled scenes, don't really match the music that was playing. Of course, that could be different. But once again, I mean, it is the PSP-ness is showing there.
The what? The what? Chat, you heard that? What did he say? I know I didn't go to sleep yet today, but am I hearing stuff? Or I heard penis.
The PSP-ness is showing,
Nice guy, Prince.
Yeah,
what about you? What do you think about not penis? What do you think about Crisis Core reunion? You have any gripes about it?
Yeah, I like to hear them, but it's definitely showing, right, that old school feel of the animations, even the cutscenes, and of course that even goes down to the dialogue and the way that the scenes are being conveyed and everything. So it's probably not matching up as well as as you would hope. So the what? That's it. You can quote it. You can quote
I was also a teenager when I played it, so the dialogue probably didn't sound as cringe to me as it does now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to this key art, though, what was that? Seems like an improved game, but Crisis Core. It's still Crisis Core, yeah. Oh shoot, my microphone keeps cutting out. So yeah, let's talk about this key art real quick, Legions, because I want to know your thoughts on this thing. I think it's a beautiful key art, dude.
It is beautiful. Mm-hmm. Me and Sleep Easy were talking about that on my stream the other day, because he had ended his stream and raided into mine, and we had just gotten that news that key art released, and we were talking about it. I find it interesting that they're all looking up at the sky.
It mirrors the ending of Remake, right?
Yeah, and you got people that are saying Zack's not an important part to the story. Why then is he on the main logo of the 25-year anniversary for Final Fantasy VII with Sephiroth and Cloud? And now we have this key art of him also looking to the sky with them side by side as well. It just makes no sense. It would make no sense for them to go this crazy with visuals like this, and he wasn't like an integral part of Rebirth.
I agree with you 100%. And you know what? Another little interesting detail I found, and this is just me, going crazy with it. But I really do feel like key art has a lot to say. If you
absolutely.
Look at it. So the rain is frozen, as if time has stopped, which is something I've been thinking about when it comes to like 7 seconds to the end type thing. And I feel like there's gonna, and they've even confirmed that, right? That whole scene at the edge of creation takes place in an area where time and space have stopped, right? And that I feel like that was confirmed. So 7 seconds till the end. I've had this kind of theory bouncing around in my head of, what if that's Sephiroth giving Cloud the option, the choice of, hey, here's this new world, this new universe that I have created, where your friend Zack lives, your friend's Aerith, your friend Aerith is going to live. Everybody will live, right? But he knows that it's Sephiroth. He knows that there's something more up his, that there's something about that. Means Sephiroth wins, and then here's the dying world. This is the world where your friend Zack dies. This is the world where Aerith is going to die. This is the world where you're going to suffer. Right? You're going to suffer. You're going to go through tremendous loss. All of your friends will. Right? But Cloud knows this is me going even further with it. Cloud knows that's what needs to happen, right? It's a choice that he has to make. Time has stood still, and he decides he's going to stick with the world that he saves, the original world, and all of his friends are going to die, and he's going to have to suffer through it. That's my like crazy prediction. But when I saw this key art and I see that time has frozen once again, it feels like, you know, right before Zach dies, you have a choice. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to continue on with this rebirth of the new world that I have, or do you want to go back? And Zach is going to die.
That's a good theory.
So
mine is probably really out there.
Okay.
I think me and Ryan actually talked about this before as well. I feel like they're trying to redeem Sephiroth in some sort of way. The way that they're going about Sephiroth, it just feels like they're trying to redeem him, and I hate it.
I do too, but yeah, I agree.
And I feel like with that key art, the three of them there together like that, I don't know, it gives me weird vibes. And then there's also that thing, you know, where people think the Sephiroth at the world's end, people think that he is a Sephiroth void of Genova's influence, and that's the Sephiroth that, like, you know, cared about Angeal and Genesis, whatever.
Because he also like refers to himself in Japanese as a different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's that, and like it just gives me vibes that they're gonna try to redeem him in some sort of way, and then maybe Genova is the one that's gonna be the main villain of the game now, and not Sephiroth. But I like your theory more because Sephiroth's still the bad guy.
He's still the bad guy in my theory, and that's why it's my theory. That's why I'm like, all right, man, this is a theory that I can kind of get behind a little bit. Whereas it is very difficult for me as well to get behind that theory that, you know, Sephiroth is going to be, you know, like he's going to be redeemed. And honestly, it has all the makings of it. If you really take a moment to think about it, it has the make. It's the Anakin Skywalker story. It literally is, where he was the hero. He turns bad, you know, and now he's gonna have a moment where he can be redeemed or something. But and also going back and showing us Crisis Core and purposely remaking this game, it's very intentional. I wouldn't say it's like out of all the games that they wanted to recreate, it was definitely this one because they needed to bring in Genesis because that's going to be a very important part of the remake trilogy.
Degradation, I feel like is going to be very important. And it's like, yeah, this is very important for players to know Zack, but also the players, they're going to see Sephiroth in an entirely different light that they didn't in remake. They're going to be like, wow, this guy is trying to save his friends. He's trying to save Angeal and Genesis. He doesn't want to kill them. And then he's, you know, everything that happens to him, and then he goes insane. And once he gets under Genova's influence, then that's it. So I also think that they want you to see Sephiroth, what Sephiroth is like before everything happens. Yeah, I agree. NSP.
Yep, I was looking at reading it right there too, where NSP is saying that at the end of remake, they show or they play that One Winged Angel Rebirth, and they basically recreate the ending of Final Fantasy VII. Like they basically just say, all right, that's the end of that. Let's start something new.
Yeah, because when I had NSP on my channel too for a podcast, we ended up talking about that a little bit. It's like, why? What else are they gonna do? Every game, are you gonna make us fight Sephiroth for all 3 games? He's gonna be the final boss. That's just gonna diminish like the fear that we have for him as a villain, right? Because it's like we already whooped your butt in the first game. How many times am I gonna teach you this lesson, old man? You know, from the SpongeBob meme. That's literally what I think of if they do that. I don't know. I hope they don't do that again. Like I'd rather, honestly, if they were gonna build up Sephiroth's fight so much in the first fight like that, I would much rather than make Genova or something else the main villain, or make Genesis come back and Rebirth and be the. I don't even care anymore. Go as crazy as you want. Remake. Just go absurdly insane. I don't care. Just bring Genesis back. I don't care. Everyone's like, I don't want Genesis to come back. I don't want. Just bring him back. I don't care. Bring him
honestly, back. Yeah, like Crisis Core is going to be the thing. Like this reunion, Crisis Core reunion is. I'm excited to play it again because I remember playing it. I remember playing it back in when the game come out. I'm not sure.
2008.
Gosh, man.
Was it 13?
Hold on.
Yeah, when did the PSP come out?
So this game came out in 2008, right?
Okay, it was 2008. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember playing it, and all I remember from this game, because I've only played it once, I haven't gone back and replayed it, like, because Final Fantasy VII I've played like countless times.
Same.
Okay,
it's not easy to replay. It's not easy to replay it anymore either because I have the Vita over there, but you can't put the PSP games in the Vita anymore because it's a different cartridge.
Right.
So
yeah.
I can't even play it. So.
Yeah, so like all I remember from my experience of that playing it in 2008, all I do remember, and we were talking about Genesis, is that I didn't like what they were doing with him. Like I feel like it wasn't the Loveless for me. Like him quoting Loveless was honestly not that big of a deal for me. Like because I was just like, okay, this is one of those. It's a colorful character, right? Final Fantasy VII has plenty of those kind of characters where it just seems like something that would fit in. It was just his involvement, I think, bothered me. Like that's all I remember from Crisis Core. So Reunion is going to be an interesting experience for me because when I play the game, I think I'm going to be reminded of all the things I didn't like and on top of all the things that I loved. And I walked away like, fast forward several years later to today, I look back on it thinking, oh man, I loved the ending. I loved Zack. There were so many things about Crisis Core that I did love, but I always Cisne. And I actually like that too. That that's going to be a fun scene. I
hope
fun
they bring back
chemistry.
some of the before Crisis Turks. Because
I
don't think they show it in the game, but in the anime, what is it called? The Lost Order, whatever it is. They show all of them from before Crisis, the Turks. Mm-hmm. I don't think they do that in the game. I don't remember them doing that in the game. I only remember Cisne, Sang, Reno, and Rude. That's it. I don't remember anybody else.
That brings up another interesting topic. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But yeah, so basically that's all I would like to say about it is that when I play Reunion, it's going to be like, man. I'm going to be reminded of the things like Genesis, and hopefully maybe this time around I'm going to be like thinking, you know what, this is not too bad. Maybe this time around I'm open-minded, but all I remember is I didn't like his involvement, especially with the Nibelheim incident. So this time around, obviously this is going to be canon now, and I think this is, obviously it was already canon, but now it feels like they're reinforcing the events of Crisis Core. Like they are telling you this stuff happened in the remake trilogy. It's called Final Fantasy VII Reunion for a reason. It's an FF7R title, so it blends in with remake, and that's where I'm like, it's gonna be interesting. But to go back on your point about the Nibelheim incident, about the Last Order, I guess. There's some inconsistencies, and I thought those inconsistencies would have been resolved with remake or rebirth, I guess, when they tell the story at Calm. But now we're already going to get that story. It almost makes us feel like, do they need to include that in rebirth? Because you're already going to have played Reunion if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan. You're like if a remake, you're playing Reunion. Which is part of that saga anyway. So this is the next game in the remake saga for me. So it doesn't make sense to repeat the story.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I was going to ask you next because Squishy Angel brings up a good question. Says, so where does it go from here? What's the oh my god moment now that we know Crisis Core Reunion plays the same? If we know Cloud's lying. That's what my whole point was on. I don't think that they're going to do the original Crisis Core ending. Because I want to know what your thoughts on it are. Because I don't think that they're going to do. And if they do, maybe they'll do something where they just show a secret ending or something with like him surviving, because they said the whole point of them, doing Crisis Core Reunion is for the people that are new to Remake and new to FF7 can get to know Zack as a character, because they see him at the end of the game, they're like, why are all these people that already played the OG FF7, why are they so excited about this character, why are they so angry about this character? They don't know about him. So then like you play through Reunion and you get to the game and you see him die and you see that scene and you're like, wait, so Cloud isn't Soldier First Class, so he's lying. So to me, that ruins the whole moment in the live stream. It almost makes me feel like they're not going to do that anymore, where Tifa puts together, Cloud Psyche again, because like we already know that oh my god factor, like the moment when he takes his helmet off, right? To me, that's the craziest moment in FF7. That twist, the plot twist there, when he takes the helmet off and you're like, oh my god, Cloud was there the entire time. What's the point of doing that now? We don't need that, because we see it in Reunion and it's part of the remake trilogy, so continuity, whatever you want to call it.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think they've kind of to like answer your question, what do I think is going to be the oh my god moment, is I think do
you think they're still going to do the ending, the Crisis Core original ending where he bites the dust?
It's a good question, man. Like, because I mean, obviously what we've seen of Reunion, from the gameplay that we've seen at TGS and everything like that, the cutscenes are almost identical with the PSP animation. It almost feels like they're doing that. Of course, they will have to have gone back and retouched on those cutscenes because the Buster Sword is different. So they had to go back and do something. So they had to touch it. They had to put their hands in that pot. So did they mess with it to make it blend into Rebirth? And then that's why it brings up the key art again, where time has stood still, where it kind of has me curious if Reunion is going to end. And you know what people will say.
And look what's in the background.
People will say, like, one of the greatest endings of all time, but people will say that, hey, if you want that ending, go play it on the PSP. Because now you're going to have a new ending where Zack is going to walk right into remake or rebirth.
Or rebirth.
And it's like maybe, and I mean they've been saying that it's going to stay true to it. The only thing that it wouldn't make sense to me, I guess, is just you see Zack die, and then maybe all the players are like, oh well, then how is he alive in rebirth? Which is good.
That's what doesn't make sense. That's what makes me feel like they have to at least add some kind of post credits thing.
I mean,
the whispers came in and it changed. Or there's a different, I don't know, something.
What if the rain stops? Like, it's just because like I keep on coming back to this key art, but like, what if during that scene, like the rain just kind of stops, where the moment where remake shows Zack, the rain stops, or maybe when he's
also the scene at the end of OG, or not OG, at the end of remake. Where they're walking away with Aerith, she says the steel sky, I miss it, right? And then she sees Zack and Cloud walk past her. Well, she feels it maybe through the live stream or something. Isn't that also the same spot that he died?
Like even in the ski art too.
Where it was raining. I think it's literally the same spot where he died.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, like even the key art has the spot where he dies.
It's crazy. Like, what the heck, man?
And it was raining when he dies, so it's like this rain kind of, there's no blur effect, there's no rainfall. It's literally time has stopped in this key art. I mean, it kind of it's a good question on whether or not they have altered that so it blends in with remake and the remake trilogy. And like I said, being Final Fantasy VII Reunion, the FF7R being in there, I really do feel like this is being told for a reason. And of course, Ever Crisis is coming out with a Crisis Core story as well. So it's like it almost gets you well, I've already played the remake. Why do the Reunion version? Why do I need to play it on Ever Crisis? And it's like, That's because we're telling the PSP story in Ever Crisis. but I mean, I don't know, man.
We'll see you in 2023, Ever Crisis.
We'll see.
I feel like Rebirth is gonna come out before Ever Crisis comes out at this rate. Jesus.
I own the NFT of Zach Bloodied. Do you?
Oh my god.
What is the oh my god moment in the live stream though? I really do think that is going to be there, and I think
you think we're still gonna have that in remake?
I think they're setting up a new mystery. It's a new mystery. Like, so in the Rebirth trailer, they even say what is real, what is what is not, and that's essentially the core of Final Fantasy VII in a way. It's one of the DNA of Final Fantasy VII, of the like questioning the story, the unreliable narrator. Like, we don't know exactly what's real. And it seems like they are setting that up for Rebirth, to where that, or maybe it's not going to be Rebirth. It might even be the third game in the series, but we'll see. Where they fall into the live stream and then we put that back together, but it might not be just like Cloud's memory restored. It might be something different.
Yeah, and like they could do a bunch of different things to twist that there. Like now with Zack being quote unquote alive, if he is alive or not, they could make it, instead of Tifa being there, or maybe she's still there. Maybe it's Zack and Tifa. Maybe Zack's trying to put his psyche back together.
It's Zack and Sephiroth helping Cloud put his psyche back.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if we get that scene anymore. Another reason is because in Rebirth trailer, you hear him say, what's the line? How does it go again? Zack, where are you? It's been 5 years, or whatever the line that he says in the Rebirth trailer.
Yeah, basically.
So he knows about Zack already before that moment even happened. So he knows. So it's like, I don't know, or that could have actually been because we're going to talk about this later. Because the whole point we set this up, chat, was we talked about, hey, everyone wants us to do a new video for where we think Rebirth's going to go since we got new news. So like,
I've been working on
it. Yeah. So for all we know, the map. I'm sorry. For all we know, that line could literally have been from that moment, from the live stream scene. It's crazy.
It's true. I think as far as this goes, like this kind of overall general topic of, a lot of people think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to go, like, it's going to follow the original, like they said. I honestly don't. We've talked about it to an extent here, where it just doesn't make sense if it does. Like, it doesn't make sense. What they've set up in remake, it won't. So like, I'm already prepared for it to kind of follow the way, like, follow remake, or I'm sorry, follow the original until it just veers off at chapter 11. Like,
what is it that they said, that it's going to follow the story, but all the places are going to not be in the order that they were in the original?
They might exclude them. Like, you might wonder why we excluded that Fort Condor, but it will come back. Yeah, Fort Condor.
I knew it. You mean you don't want to visit the mini game?
Like, I honestly actually think we are going to stop by. That's my opinion. We'll talk about that in our video, but I do think we might stop there. I think we might find a ninja there. But so we I mean, like, when it comes to, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the story is going to be different. I think Crisis Core Reunion might end different. And it just, maybe time freezes for a moment. And then at the end of the game, and you might be wondering what the heck happened, and you'll find out, and like, to be continued, instead of like
I agree.
In the original Crisis Core, if you get, like, I think if you got all the files, you get the secret ending, or maybe it wasn't a secret ending. It might not even been a secret ending. Where Cloud is riding on the train, and it's like, to be continued in Final Fantasy VII.
No, that was just a post credits thing.
Okay, so it wasn't a secret thing. Okay, so at the end of that, it'll say to be continued in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
And they could show the scene of him walking with Cloud to Midgard that they did in Rebirth trailer. You know?
Yeah, that's what I think. And unfortunately, and what people will tell me is, they'll say, hey man, if you want to watch the ending of the original Crisis Core, just watch it on YouTube. Watch it on YouTube. You'll always have that ending. That ending will always be there. So I think the ending of Crisis Core is one of my favorite endings of all time. So it would be a shame to see it go, but it makes more sense for it to change. And TGS didn't really show us that, but it's possible it could. Yeah, so we can talk about this sweet Final Fantasy XVI.
Did you guys see the awesome new trailer that we got from TGS? Oh, never mind.
Wait, whoops, we don't. Yeah. This is all we have to talk about, Legions. Like, when it comes to 16, this is what we have to talk about.
The Kingdom Hearts key art for 16.
Yeah, no.
Have you put them side by side? It literally looks like Kingdom Hearts key art.
The Final Fantasy 16 it does?
Yeah, it's almost like the same poses and everything.
Oh, I can see that, like
with
sitting
Sora
down
on top and then Riku and Kairi. It literally almost the same. It's cool. I like it though.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I think this key art here is more representative of a Final Fantasy than the first key art we got. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely think that first key art was fire. If you know what I'm saying, there, Legions. If you get,
oh yeah.
All right, but I think that first key art was really good. I loved it. But this, I don't know, man. It feels Final Fantasy.
This one feels
to me.
more like a Final Fantasy. Yeah. It has more of the fantasy aspect to it. The first one I thought it was a Devil May Cry key art when I first saw it. I was like, is this Final Fantasy? or is that Dante?
They're just
Dante.
Right? Yeah. It did have that for sure, man. I agree. But yeah, I mean, like, it definitely looks Final Fantasy to me. This isn't there. You know, they're by the kingdom of. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, man. Can you help me? The kingdom.
God.
The big one. Why am I drawing a blank here?
I'm drawing a blank too. You know why? If they would have showed us something,
I don't know. Maybe if we would have got more details,
I would have looked more up on it again. You know,
not Valisthea. It's the kingdom.
Valisthea is the name of the
big one. I don't think that's
country.
Rosaria, is it?
No,
I see the water. It's the big one. The Empire, the Holy Empire of Sambrick. Okay, that's it. I feel like it's the Holy Empire of Sambrick.
Yeah. I'll get to it eventually.
Because of this water here, I got it right, man. You don't have to look it up anymore.
Oh, okay.
My mind activated. It was like, I got you, dude. I'm sorry I'm late. But my mind got me. It's the Holy Empire of Sambrick. I think this might be the Holy Empire of Sambrick. Because
that's the one that has the biggest crystal, right?
Of these waters. Yeah, it's the one that's the big power.
The big mother crystal,
yeah. Maybe that one because of the water in front. If it's Rosaria, then this could be over, you know, maybe on that island in the Iron Kingdom, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just me looking at it without it being, you know, too much thought into it. But yeah, I mean, like, he's holding the dog, so we can assume that, you know, this dog is probably going to be a big part.
They better not let the dog die. That's all I'm saying.
I think they even said, didn't one of the interviews say that the dog may or may not be a party member?
Yes.
Might work with you.
Which I loved that idea. That would be awesome.
So what we're seeing here, if I bring it back up, in this key art, we're actually seeing young Clive, young Joshua, young Jill. So the time jump hasn't happened. We already know that he's going to go from teenage to 20s to 30s. And I think we've seen the dog, right? Have we seen the dog a little bit bigger or no?
No.
Okay. So I don't know. But if the dog is going to help you out in the party, it's not going to be this little tiny puppy. I mean, it's got to be at least in your 20 era.
Yeah. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
I get such Jon Snow vibes from Clive.
The dire wolf, right?
With the dog too.
There's the dire wolf right there.
I really do. I really do. And his whole family gets murdered, right? And what we see in the beginning of the 16 trailer from the first one, it makes it look like, even from the thing that they on the website of his like little biography that they have about him, it makes it seem like his whole family dies.
Yeah.
Jon Snow also goes through that thing with the the red wedding. Literally everybody died.
Yeah, such a good scene.
That was it was. I feel like the equivalent of what we saw in the trailer was their red wedding for 16.
Where
I would be
that,
surprised.
where Joshua gets the blood spewed on his face.
Yeah, because they
yeah.
got betrayed, right? Isn't that the context of that trailer? They got betrayed by somebody.
Honestly, I can't remember if it was a betrayal or not. I think my speculation was that it was Sam Breck coming in there to take back Jill. That was my theory. That because it said Jill belonged to the Northern Territories, but that has fallen to the Blight, and I think Sam Breck feels that Jill is theirs, and if Jill is who's going to transform into an icon, they want
Shiva,
that.
maybe.
Right, they want that WMD. You know what I mean? Like,
I think the only reason I thought that is because I think I'm almost 90% positive they say the word traitor during near that scene, but they say so much random stuff in the trailer that has nothing to do with what's going on to kind of like confuse the audience that they could literally be talking about anything.
It's true. There's so little information to speculate on, but yeah, I mean, like all we do know was that there was an invasion of some sort where Joshua witnesses a decapitation right in front of him. So that could be the Red Wedding, man, which would be. I mean, I love that. A lot
of people think was his father. I think.
It was a really quick scene, and I think it did resemble his father. The guy did. So to see your father just get decapitated, blood spewed on your face, I'm like, from that moment on, we knew that this game was going to be mature.
Yep.
So
first time I saw that trailer, I saw the blood. I was like, "Oh my god, it's gory!"
Yeah, right. I was like, "Okay."
I was like, "This is Final Fantasy? Are we sure?"
Yeah, and I think when they dropped that key art, you know, it looked intense and stuff like that. I think this is a good reminder for a lot of people that Final Fantasy 16 is still a Final Fantasy. I don't know, like I want to call it a key art, but I guess it was just in the pamphlet. But yeah, I mean, like. This is a reminder that this is still going to be a Final Fantasy. It's still going to have your relationships that you build along the way. I mean, maybe they end early, but but it's going to set them on a path to revenge.
They did with the flag. I like the touch they did with the flag on the sword. It looks really nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe that means like a resembling that Rosaria has fallen. Yeah, and like. I mean, like I said, Clive. This is Clive when he was younger. The puppies, you know, it's just a little puppy right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think this. I really love the key art, man. Or the.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the flag now.
Advertisement.
That is Rosaria. That is Rosaria's flag.
Yep. And usually that's kind of like a, you know, whenever a sword has a little banner flying on it, just kind of like, you know,
almost like they've been conquered, right?
Something has fallen or conquered. Yeah, it feels like. So what does it say? What do you look forward to this? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry I've been missing out on chat, guys. We're gonna go back and answer some questions here in just a second. Do you see any in chat, Legions, that you wanna bring to the table?
Who thinks we might see a showcase late September, mid October? I don't think we're getting a trailer until the Game Awards.
I agree.
For 16.
I agree 100% with you on that one. I mean, let's see. I think it would just be perfect when they talked about Yoshi P talked about Final Fantasy 16. They're readying another trailer, a third trailer that was going to be story focused, and they said it was good.
Fall, right?
Yeah, he said fall, and I went,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
it just seemed like it was too stacked. And I mean, I'm not going to complain. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'll hype it up, dude. I'm ready. But I really do think if they waited until Game Awards, to one of the biggest stages in gaming, you wait to that moment, and you show Final Fantasy 16, that's only 6 months away, ish. It's summer 2023, but like 6 months away. So where at that point, you can now announce an official release date. You can also announce alongside this third trailer. Oh my god, that would be awesome. You could also tag your official release date. You could tag pre-orders. I mean, God of War went up for pre-order right after it was announced, right? Like,
and that would be like the perfect amount of time for like marketing too. You know, a good 5 to 6 months for marketing.
And that sets up a beautiful E3, E3 show floor booth of Final Fantasy 16, and then release it a week later.
As well, PAX West, PAX East.
Yep.
PAX East is April.
Yeah, it's usually like 2 or 3 months before E3, I think. Yes, I mean, it sets it up beautifully to have a demo at PAX East and then a demo at E3 where it's your big booth. You're on the show floor booth, and we're assuming hopefully the world is in a good situation where we can have that, and like you'll have that stage or that floor presence, and then just release it a week later. And after you played it at E3, you're like, oh my god, I got to go out and get it. I also think that's when we'll see a Rebirth at E3. Anything on Rebirth, you got to wait till E3. I'm not even.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing anything. I don't think we're seeing that until 16 comes out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's fair.
Or even like maybe like E3, like which is right around when it comes out. At least till they're done promoting 16 and we have like a concrete release date. Like, yeah, it's coming out this day. Then maybe.
Yeah, like because I mean, if you do E3, you do another trailer for Rebirth, and then you do TGS. Maybe you have the maybe a demo, or maybe you have a little bit more.
And it's like if you think about it, they're doing Reunion heavily right now because Reunion's about to come out, and then I think once Reunion comes out December 13th, and then I believe Game Awards is right after that, right?
Actually, Game
November?
Awards is the 8th, December 8th. Yeah,
so it's literally right before it. So then they can start talking about 16, you know, because the game's already the game's out at that point. It's literally out in a week. They got a release date. Everyone's already got it pre-ordered. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see Rebirth news for a while.
I agree. So yeah, I mean, look forward to Final Fantasy 16 anytime between now to Game Awards, but I really do think Game Awards is where they're gonna save that third story trailer for.
Peter says marketing like Remake did. Please no. They spoiled the entire game with those trailers. It was ridiculous.
I gotta agree.
Barrett. They spoiled Barrett getting stabbed. They spoiled Sephiroth on the bridge at the end of the game. I was like, why are they showing this? I was so confused.
I was so blind. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I watched the trailer like 1,000 times, but I was so blind to the signs, man, that it was going to be different.
I never watched the final one.
You didn't? That's smart.
And it wasn't even, and then I didn't even know it was that bad till I beat the game, and then my chat was like, go watch the final trailer for the game. I was like, why? They're like, trust me.
I really hope they
literally didn't need to play the game.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I didn't think it was that bad.
I love the marketing of 16 right now. Like, I love that all we've seen is gameplay. And, you know, like a lot of, it was rough around the edges. A lot of people might have had little comments on the UI and everything. But I'm like, it's a year away.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the game, which is something that I was so excited about. Whereas I think this third trailer coming up is going to be a CG rendered trailer.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, I don't know. I like it when companies do this where they show you just enough to keep you guessing. Yeah. Right? Like, damn. Like,
we don't need to be sold.
It just makes you so much. Yeah. Because I'm already sold on it. Like, they already sold me on it in the first trailer. The music, the world design, the combat, the voice acting was pretty good, and what little lore we got. I mean, the kid's dad was decapitated right in front of his face. Right. I was like, okay, I'm sold. I don't even care. When's this game coming out? But yeah, there's a lot of people online that they want to know. I think even NSP was one of the people that he wanted to see a little bit more lore. I'm the opposite. I don't want to see any more lore. I'm good. I think they showed us enough.
Yeah, like I know Yoshi P said he wanted to like kind of give a little more of the world building in the next trailer.
I would like to see the open world if they show anything.
Oh, like how the
actual walking around.
Yeah, not obvious, like not open world because it was confirmed it wasn't open world. Yeah, you mean like the large open areas, the zones.
The screenshots we got pretty much. Yeah.
I agree, man. I think that would be cool. I think that's actually what people need to know. So we're sold on it. Me and you, Legion, sold. Yeah. Final Fantasy 16. We don't need to really see anymore. There are those who had some reservations about it, and that's why I think once again this TGS banner or pamphlet, I think that does a great job of saying like, hey, it's still a Final Fantasy at its heart. And then also you can, for this trailer, you can show exploration because that's one thing that people were a little concerned about. All we've seen is action. How is this game going to explore? Are we going to
show party members?
Show
That's
and then
thing
show
that people won't stop talking about. Because they already touched on it, but like he already said that there will be members that do come and help you, you know, and in the game.
Yeah.
But like just show it, because that is the main thing I keep hearing from everybody. They're like, I don't want to play it because it doesn't have traditional party members.
That's it. That's all you need to see. That's all you need to see. And I mean, maybe give us a mini game. Like show us like whatever mini game you might have, and I think that would quell a lot of concerns going on with 16 from that side of the fandom. Obviously, there's nothing they can do about those fans who are like, it's not turn-based, I don't want it, because hey, yeah, this is the direction. But we can address some of those in the next trailer. We can address exploration, give us some fun stuff and camaraderie, party members and stuff like that. So that's Final Fantasy 16. There is another thing that we can talk about that was Final Fantasy related.
Rose says, could this art be for a PS5 16? I honestly, that kind of looks like it could be the cover art for the game.
Oh wow, you think that would be cover art?
Just it could be. Like obviously, you know, it's wide, but it could be like them, 3 of them, and then maybe Final Fantasy 16 on top.
This kind of threw me off here. Like, look at maybe I'm just not looking at it right, but it looks like a boot on her hip. Like, it does. What is this boot doing? What is this boot, man?
What is that a boot, dude?
It looks like a boot.
Chat, what do you think that looks like? That looks like a boot to me.
What? Maybe it's a purse? I don't know. No, maybe not.
Dude, those are 2 boots. Is she barefoot? Those are 2. I just realized those are 2 boots.
Oh, so she's holding her boots and she's standing barefoot in the water.
Yeah, in the water. Yeah, okay. Wait, what the heck? Imagine that's her weapon. She took the boots off. She's turning into Shiva now.
Yeah. Okay. she's ready. This Serena picture is about to get crazy. So there you go. Is that the box art, you think? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more sky showing and then Final Fantasy 16 on top. That could be the box art. It looks pretty good.
It could be it. But yeah, so maybe I really think the box art could be that first one we seen.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Because that just looks. Maybe this is the Japanese box art, and then we get the other box art. You know what I mean? It just looks American. You know what I mean?
It does.
So yeah, like we got one more thing to talk about. Let's kind of go peruse chat real quick. Phantom Meyer says, how do you suppose they'll close out the 25th anniversary in December? I'm sure they'll want to make a big deal of sorts. I honestly don't think they're going to make a 25th anniversary thing for 7. I think it's just going to be, if anything, we get Ever Crisis at the Game Awards. Might be a shadow drop. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I think the big thing for the 25th anniversary was when they showed off Reunion and Rebirth trailer.
Yeah,
that was during the release month of 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to go out. You have the release of Crisis Core Reunion on the 18th, and then at the Game Awards maybe you show off Ever Crisis details or whatever, and then just drop it and say, hey, it's available right now.
If that game is not out by December, I'm gonna be mad, man.
I mean, at this point,
oh my god,
at this point, that's where I'm going. Unless they want to launch it alongside the next season of First Soldier, that could be a possibility.
It would be perfect to launch it next to Reunion, though. It would.
That's a thing, man.
In case you were right, and you know the ending is different. And
yeah.
Like, hey,
it's like here you go.
Want the original? Here you go. It's Ever Crisis.
You wanted it. Here you go. All right, so I think I just perused enough. Let me know if you see anybody else and any questions in chat that you bring up. We're coming to the end of the show here, so anyone from chat, get your questions in, and we'll answer them. And the last thing I want to talk about, because we are covering all things Final Fantasy. I don't know what's your hype level on this, Legions. What's your hype level on Theatrhythm Final Bar line?
You know, I used to go to a bar that was an hour away from me just to play this game.
Okay.
There's a bar there was an arcade that sold alcohol too, so
that's pretty cool. Like a video game themed bar.
I'd go with a group of friends, and they'd always find me at this machine the entire time. It was right next to the Guitar Hero one.
Now, how did it play in the arcades? Because I'm like, did you actually have?
It was good. Yeah, so there was corresponding buttons for the things that showed up on the screen. So if it was red, it would be red. If there was the yellow, it would be yellow, and you got a joystick for like the directions that it was supposed to be in the up and down. It was really good. It correlated really well in the arcade.
I think the one thing that I still haven't gotten an answer to is if this game is going to have touch controls on Switch, because I think the DS version did have touch controls, correct?
I believe it did. Yeah, you could use the stylus pen for that.
Yeah,
too.
so I mean, like, it just seems like a good game to have that touch control, and being on the Switch, it would make sense. But on the PS5 or PS4, 5, whatever this is coming out, I know it's coming out on the PlayStation. Obviously, you can't do touch controls, but there is one thing that I can point out where it says features. It says tilt, I think, at some point. It says tap and tilt.
Oh, gyro? Oh, maybe there's gyro controls.
Press and tilt the rhythm. Press and tilt to the rhythm.
The part where there's a green line going up and down, you might be able to just like...
I wonder if... Because, I mean, obviously the PS5 has that, and it explains why it's not... I mean... It doesn't explain why it's not coming to the Xbox, because a lot of this times it doesn't. But it's not coming to Xbox because they wouldn't have the capabilities of it. Whereas
Final Fantasy doesn't like Xbox anymore.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, apparently not.
I feel bad for the Xbox fans that were watching the Xbox showcase on TGS, and I saw the comments. They were like, "No Final Fantasy VII remake because it's still not out on Xbox."
Yeah, no, I mean, no, it's insane to me. I don't think it's ever going to come.
I don't. Yeah, at this point, I don't think it's going to. Which is weird because
reunions coming there.
What are you doing, Screen? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be. There's got to be some deals going on under the table. That's all my opinion is. Jim Ryan is saying, like, hey, here you go. Here's some money. Keep the games on ours. But hey, Call of Duty. That is unfair. That you're. That is unfair. Anyway, Square Enix, you want to put that on the PlayStation? Thank you very much. Don't let that on the Xbox. But it says press and tilt to the rhythm, right? So tilt means it makes me think that, but it doesn't touch on that anywhere else. It just says simple controls make up for intuitive gameplay that anyone can pick up, but it doesn't say anything more. When they overlap, on the screen, a well-timed move with a button or stick. So maybe tilt the stick rather than tilt
the stick, yeah, because in the arcade you had the arcade stick, the joystick.
Gotcha. Okay, so tilt the stick. But yeah, I mean, touch screen controls would be great because it was on the DS. But cool thing about this is it's got 385 in-game songs.
Yeah, and then by the end, it's gonna have like 500 something, 502.
Right. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the rollout because. You have to buy the deluxe version of the game in order to get 27 more songs.
Yeah.
And you know what's part of that? Xanarkand is part of you. They put that, and Eyes on Me is part of the deluxe version exclusive.
Song?
Yeah,
Eyes on Me is FFVII.
Yep. So
why?
Those are part of the
I didn't
deluxe.
even notice that. I thought that was the Nier music. What the heck?
Where's it at?
Because they got what do they got? They got so many JRPGs. They have Nier, they have Octopath, Romancing Saga. I feel like I'm missing one.
Oh, there's
Live Alive.
Saga series, Live Alive. The World Ends with You. Nier.
Oh, the World Ends with You too?
That's gonna be in there. Yeah.
Hey,
Nier.
Xenogears.
Xenogears. Yep.
What the heck? Yeah, Chrono Trigger. They have question marks there too. I almost wonder if one of those is gonna be Bravely Default.
Oh, that would actually make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, they have
and
a lot
then
of
maybe the next one be Crisis Core Reunion.
Yeah.
That could be a thing, unless if that's already in.
Or
I'm not sure.
Strangers of Paradise.
Wait.
We have to talk about one more thing before we end.
Okay.
Did you see the Strangers of Paradise DLC trailer?
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh,
Gilgamesh.
Man, I'm so hyped for Gilgamesh, dude. Oh my god. I freaked out. That was the only thing that I saw that I was like, you know what? Maybe it was a little bit worth staying up. That was cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. The Wanderer of the Rift DLC coming out, I believe in October.
26.
Yeah, dude, 26. I'm so excited for that. Yeah.
Did you play the Bahamut one yet? I still haven't.
I've been making my way through it, but they put it on Bahamut difficulty. So you have to have played.
So I have to beat it on Chaos first?
I think so. I think you have to beat it on Chaos first. And I'm working my way through hard mode, beating every single side quest, and now I'm going to get to Chaos difficulty. But so you can start the Bahamut quest and like meet Bahamut, but he sends you on trials, like to go do old missions, but do something on like Bahamut difficulty and stuff. So I mean, so I haven't experienced what it's like to fight Bahamut yet. I did fight the Warrior of Light though.
I might do that next week. That seems like something good to do before before Crisis Core comes out.
Yeah, and catch up on that so you can be ready for Gilgamesh.
That's a long grind.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The chaos mode is rough.
Dude, there's diversion real quick, but like there's a mission on one of those difficulties where you have to fight at the Final Fantasy VI world. You have to fight.
The fire one, the rock one.
Yeah.
Fight the fire, the
dragon
snake,
zombie.
Yeah, that one. Oh my god, that one sucks.
The dragon zombie, and then I thought I was done after I beat the dragon zombie, but it says defeat 3 enemies. So you beat the dragon zombie full boss fight, and then it follows up with the that scorpion thing with the tail, which is not that hard.
6 arms.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what's her name? Chat, help! I can't remember her name. The monster with the 6 arms and the.
Oh no, it's not.
Okay.
Starts with
an M, right? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Merilith, I think. Okay, that's what I thought you had to fight immediately after. I was about to say,
I don't know, maybe because there's another one after the scorpion. I haven't got past him yet. I was like, what is going on with this?
That's actually good.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So like, here we go. Eyes on Me, Melodies of Life, and Xanderkin are all part of the 27 exclusive songs that come with the digital deluxe. So that was something that kind of was like, oh man, what were you guys doing there? And then of course you get the 90 plus DLC songs. If you do get the digital deluxe edition of the game, you do get the first pass, the first set in the season pass, which gives you an additional, I believe, 30 songs. So obviously I'm going to be getting the deluxe edition, but I thought that was kind of wrong to withhold those, especially those popular songs.
Well, maybe
like
Square Enix will be nice enough to give it to us.
Hey, I love you, Square Enix. Please give that to us. Yeah, that would be amazing, man. I would absolutely do a review and everything on it too. So yeah, I mean, like, so you have 385 in-game songs, which is just amazing. And that's compared to the previous game. All-Star Carnival and Curtain Call with only 330. So, so good stuff. Anything else on this game? Oh, it's going to have multiplayer mode, which is awesome.
Yeah, 4-player co-op, right? That's cool.
Even a battle mode in multiplayer. So multi-battle, 4 players can face off in online matches.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I like that.
I'll be definitely playing that.
Yeah. So really cool.
Peter says, not Peter. Squishy asked, "What do you think Labyrinth Striker is?" The other thing that they trademarked.
Ooh.
Honestly, I did have an idea that it might be a remake of Bouncer. Have you ever played Bouncer?
Oh my God! Whoa, dude. Throwback. Dude.
Yeah, it sounds like it because that's literally what Bouncer was a Labyrinth Striker. It's just what it felt like.
That's interesting.
It could also be a mobile game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's absolutely possible.
For all we know, Theatrhythm could be released on mobile too. Because I'm pretty sure the 3DS one is on mobile now too, right?
Honestly, I've only played the DS version.
Yeah, I think that one is on mobile. You can download it.
Is it All-Star Carnival? I'm not sure what that came out for, but yeah, man, like, I don't really know. Labyrinth Striker, I don't know where that could be. Probably a mobile game. If it could be, if you want to make it exciting, it could be like a Final Fantasy Dynasty Warriors, like Vinny keeps talking about. That'd be great.
That would be sick. Could also be a fighting game. That's
me to just inject some hype in there. You know what I mean? Other than it could be a mobile game. All right. So what else do we got, man?
How do you rate TGS?
How do you rate TGS? That's a great way to close out the show.
Square Enix TGS. I don't know, maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
because there wasn't really anything really new.
It's so crazy to think that if they would have withheld, and obviously a lot of people would have been upset that we haven't heard anything from it until now, but if they would have withheld the trailer that they just showed us for Final Fantasy XVI, the trailer they just showed us for Ever Crisis and Rebirth and stuff like that, and Reunion, and just held off until their showcase, this would absolutely be a much higher score.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but this show was all about Forspoken and Crisis Core.
Yeah, And I'm trying to think of something new that was shown, but there wasn't.
I mean,
it was all there were new trailers, but the games were all things we've already seen and heard of already. So
yeah, and I mean, when it comes to like TGS, I will be honest with you, I really kind of only followed whatever was Final Fantasy related. So I can't really give you a broad review.
You know what I will say though? If you're a Dragon Quest fan, they showed a lot of Dragon Quest. So
they showed.
If you guys like Japan, Dragon Quest is way more popular than Final Fantasy. So half of that showcase for them was Dragon Quest. There was like 5 different versions of Dragon Quest X that they showed. I don't know why. I had no idea what was going on. People in chat were telling me that the MMO, they don't know how to patch it, or they just don't. So they just release new versions of Dragon Quest X. So instead of doing Final Fantasy 14 patch 5.0 to, and then do patch 6.0, they just release an entire new version of the game, I guess, as a separate thing. So they were showing like so many Dragon Quest X offline, Dragon Quest X chibi version, Dragon Quest X online, Dragon Quest X new expansion or new. It was a lot of Dragon Quest.
Yeah. So if you're a Dragon Quest fan, that's exciting.
I don't really care for Dragon Quest that much. 11 was good and 8 was good, but those are really the only 2 that I've really played that much.
Yeah. And I gotta agree with Legions on that as well. I think Diofield Chronicle, Valkyrie, these
next
games,
week, right? Both of them.
Yeah.
Diofield next week, and then Valkyrie the week after.
Yeah. So I mean, like, as far as like Square's showing at TGS, I think it did what it needed to do. I don't think. I mean, like, obviously everybody wants the big, like, give me a Final Fantasy 16 trailer. Give me that. I mean, I was hyped for it. I'm always gonna hype it up. The warrior of hype. I don't care if I'm wrong. But I'm going to hype it up no matter what. It was possible. If it's plausible, I'm going to hype it up. And it was definitely a plausible thing. But the fact that it wasn't there didn't really bother me. Honestly, I was excited about the freaking key art or the banner thing that we got, or the pamphlet thing. I'm good with that. So when it came to 16, I got my new key art, something different to look at other than that the one we've had since 2020. So that excited me from TGS. The reunion raw hands-on gameplay, good stuff. I got to know how the game is going to play. I got to know what to expect from it as far as cutscenes and of course the gameplay was the most important part to me. I'm glad to see it got revamped and everything. And seeing that hands-on demo was fun. I like that. Forspoken, I got to see more of that, even though we did get that huge, like, 30 minutes of gameplay just a couple weeks ago. So that if they would have held off till TGS, that would have been okay.
That would have been better, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I like Forspoken. I think it looks good. When I saw the gameplay at TGS, I was just kind of like, I'm kind of like, I was excited for it, and now they've showed me too much. Now I'm like, I don't know whether or not I'm sold on it yet, and I was sold on it, but now I'm
the same.
So
because they showed another like hour of gameplay today.
Yes.
Of just like straight up starting the game from scratch and playing it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm as excited as I was now.
The combat is definitely I think, in my opinion, I think the combat is definitely Final Fantasy 16 or 15. Final Fantasy 15 with the element of, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 had the elements too, but it really does seem like they're blending that as well.
It seemed like Final Fantasy 15 combined with remake shortcut system.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so I mean, like, it looked like an updated 15 combat to me.
Yeah.
It honestly looked like updated 15. Like, you could have said that this was a spin-off of 15 and I would have believed you. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Forspoken. I love 15, so I guess it appeals to me. It's just, from what I saw today, the open world looks a little bit like, I guess I visioned it differently when you're traversing with that parkour style.
The best way I can describe it is like, I'm excited for Forspoken. I'm gonna play it when it comes out.
For sure, yeah, I agree.
It's not a game that I'm like willing to go on a podcast and talk about for 2 hours, like Final Fantasy 16 or remake. It's
Yeah.
not something that I talk to everybody every day and I'm like, dude, did you see that 1 hour of footage for Forspoken? You know,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, I'll play it when it comes out. It looks interesting.
Yeah. It's
Honestly,
crazy how that's gone because it was a game.
Yeah.
That, like when they showed Project Athia like years and years ago, I was like, oh my god, dude, let's talk about that. And now it's like it's slowly becoming like they keep showing more and more, and I'm like, all right, man, I'm sold. I'm sold. Please stop showing me. Just let me buy the game.
Like my rating, like you guys were asking, like how we rate it.
Yeah.
I said 6. If they would have showed Ever Crisis, it would have been way higher. I don't even care if it was the same trailer, but at the end they would have said, "Closed beta sign up today," and you know, and then maybe they would have said, "Okay, at the end of the showcase, you can play the beta." You know?
Yeah.
I feel like they missed an opportunity not at, you know, Tokyo Game Show, where in Japan mobile gaming is so freaking popular. That's where they make all their money. I feel like they missed out on an opportunity launching the beta this weekend. I was expecting them to like kind of be like, hey, we can play the beta today, or this weekend.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that is a huge missed opportunity. I think that Ever Crisis not being there is, like we said, just to kind of circle back and close this thing out in a nice little neat little package. I think Ever Crisis not being there is more concerning now. Not due to like, oh, it's development crisis or whatever. No, I feel like there's something up their sleeves that they didn't want to be the story coming out of TGS. And that's what's concerning me, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. And maybe it is just like, hey, we just need a little more time before we show you anything. But yeah, I think blockchain is definitely going to be a big thing. Can you imagine your score then? Like, if they said, hey, Ever Crisis, you can pre-register, and here's the details. We are implementing blockchain and all that other stuff. Coming out of TGS, it would be, we wouldn't.
I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, like an hour and a half we talked about, we were excited. We very positive podcast here talking about Crisis Core Reunion 16 and stuff like that, but I think for an hour and a half we would have been focusing on something different. So, yeah.
You know what it is with TGS? A lot of people were expecting from TGS a little bit too much. I think what they were expecting from TGS was what we saw from the State of Play and the Nintendo Direct. Those two showcases were... I was like every 5 minutes I was like, what the
that was insane. I loved it. What a great week. It kind of gave me E3 vibes this week. I was like, dude,
Nintendo was that Direct was a banger. They literally opened with Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem. I was like, whoa. Literally 5 minutes later, another game. I forgot what it was because there was so many. There's a lot of farming sim games on that, but
there was. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Various Day Life as a game coming out,
Harvestella. Are you gonna play that?
Oh, dude, Harvestella looks fantastic, man.
I'm gonna play that.
Yeah,
it looks good.
That looks fantastic.
I'm currently addicted to the Disney version of that, the Disney one that came out. So
maybe really?
I'll drop. Yeah, it's actually really good.
The Dreamlight thing that was on Game Pass, so I downloaded. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, that's how I'm playing it. Free.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Game Pass is where it's at.
It's lit.
But yeah, no, I honestly don't think TGS sucked. Sorry, Rose. I do think that TGS did exactly what it wanted to do. Like it set what it wanted to do. I think that was Crisis Core and Forspoken were the things, and they
I don't think it sucked at all. No, I think they showed what they had to show because they don't have anything else to show. They showed like 15 to 30 minutes of gameplay for Crisis Core. They showed gameplay for Forspoken, Harvestella. They had demos out for them. Valkyrie, Elysium. They released a demo for that as well. So we have a demo for that. They showcased Stranger of Paradise DLC. There was a lot of good stuff shown there. Octopath Traveler too. They showed more Octopath Traveler. There was a lot of stuff shown there. It's just a lot of people, like I said, were expecting the State of Play, like that Tekken 8 trailer, because it was new, right? We weren't expecting it. The Rise of the Ronin, the Stellar Blades, like all the games that were shown at the State of Play, that were like, oh my god, I haven't seen this game been talked about for years, or this game's brand new. That's what people were expecting for Tokyo Game Show, and I think I liked it more because I went into it not really expecting too much, except for Ever Crisis.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, around there for me too.
Yeah, it was 7 out of 10. It was good. I think it could have just been a lot better if they would have just held some surprises.
Yeah, you did not just say that.
What's up?
You don't like Sakuden? You weren't excited for Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster? You said Konami show was 1 out of 10?
Oh yeah,
I thought that was
those.
they announced that today. That was hype.
Was that the game that they were hyping up as like a well-loved series is getting an announcement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, that's not the direction that a lot of people wanted it to go.
A lot of people thought it was going to be Metal Gear.
I mean, you can't just say that. You know? Yeah, but people didn't realize it was well, I mean, never mind. I don't know. I thought it was Metal Gear Solid, you know.
I was hoping for Metal Gear. The only thing I was disappointed about from Konami was I saw Suikoden and I was like, oh, this is hype. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. It looked really good. But then I was like, oh, that was their whole show.
That was it. That's it. They're like, this is all we need to do, right? Like,
let's just talk about this one show for 1 hour, the one game for 1 hour.
10 versions of Dragon Quest X. Yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little recap of TGS 2022. And don't forget the penis. PS penis.
The PS penis.
The PS penis of the game.
I thought you were trying to say Neo Tui. Wow, I can't even say it either. Right there. Neo. I give up.
Neo Tui. You know what? There's a word that really hard to say that I can't. Actually, all words right now. All words are really hard to say, apparently.
Squishy Angel, thank you so much. That means a lot. Don't ever have to. You guys shouldn't feel like shy or scared to chat. Yeah. You know, we love interacting with you guys. Feel
hey,
free to talk.
Whenever we have a podcast together, we're the Legions of Hype. I love it.
I like
Warrior of Hype and Legions Gaming. Oh man, good pair. It's a good dynamic.
I like it.
All right, yeah. The hard one to say, and existentialism, existence. I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't talk.
Think about that while you're, everybody just try to say existentialism. Existence.
I'm not even gonna attempt it because I haven't slept.
Yeah. Dude,
my brain can't even function right now.
Been up since 4 a.m. It is now 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.
I'm gonna wake up. Did I do the podcast? I don't remember.
It was a good one, man. Thank you so much for being part of it, Legions. I always enjoy talking to you, man.
Me too.
And thank you. I know you're like, dude, you're super busy doing your thing with and for you to set us some time aside to be a part of FFTV.
Of course.
And running on
for you guys.
No sleep, man. It really did mean a lot, man. I appreciate you being here.
No problem, man.
All right, everybody, go check out Legions Gaming, please.
Everyone, go check out Final Fan TV. You guys, make sure you look forward to our video in the future of map. Where we think Rebirth might end or go up to. You know.
That's right. I got a document ready. It's already drawn out.